Project 4 final for our project Hubble Home. Our team members were me, Malia Clifton, and my responsibilities were the landing page, user registration, the user login and logout, and the buyer dashboard. Alfred's responsibilities were the buyer dashboard and completing details of each property. And Zoha's responsibilities were the wish list/favorites page. Hubble Home is a dynamic platform that bridges the gap between property buyers and sellers, making real estate transactions smoother and more accessible. Our mission is to take the stress out of property dealings by offering a centralized, user-friendly platform. We aim to create a space where buyers can effortlessly find their dream homes and sellers can efficiently list their properties. The main goal of Hubble Home is to build a functional, user-friendly website that caters to both property buyers and sellers. This includes creating a distinct user portal for our buyers, ensuring secure authentication to protect user data, and delivering a seamless experience from start to finish. The use of Scrum methodology, we were able to break down the project into manageable parts that each of us could do. And here's a demonstration for our website. This is our About page. When the user clicks OK, they're brought back to the landing page. And you can either sign up or sign in. And I didn't show this in the video, but if the user doesn't enter in a field, then they'll get a message saying that they required a first name, last name, or whatever field name is. So once the user signs up, they're automatically taken to the sign-in page. And like the sign-in page, the sign-up page, if they don't enter in a field, then it'll send them an alert. And once you sign in, you'll get a pop-up, and your username will display at the top. And you'll also get a pop-up if you log out. And once you click the View Homes button, this is where you can view all the properties. And here's each property card. Each property card contains the what type of property it is, the address, and a couple details about the property. And if you click the heart, it'll add it to the favorites page. And the View Property lets you see more details about each property. And as you can see, this is a search feature. Here are the details of this specific property. Okay, and now I'm going to demonstrate the favorites page.
So to use the favorites page on the Hubble Home, you first have to sign in, or sign up, but I already have an account, so I'm signing in, and then you submit. Okay, you go to view homes, and then you see all the homes that we currently have, which is around 8. And then we'll go to the favorites page just to show that there's no favorites right now. And then we'll go back and let's say we'll like these 3 houses, and then when we go back to the favorites page, it'll show up on the favorites page. And yeah, you can always unlike it, and then if you just refresh the page, only 2 of the houses will show up then. And yeah, just go back out, log out.
And here's our code overview section. At the start of the code, the user input from the HTML form is collected using the post variable. The user input consists of the user's first name, last name, email, username, and password. The collected data is then validated to ensure every form field is filled out correctly. The validation is done by ensuring a first name and last name is provided. The username is at least 6 characters, the password is at least 6 characters, and the password contains at least one number and one letter. And finally, that the password and the confirmed password fields match. The validated password is then hashed to ensure user security. For this section of code, the MySQL connection is established at the top right here. The connection is then checked and will display a message if the connection failed or succeeded. Once the connection is established, the data is then prepared to enter into the database table named users2 right here through an SQL query. The SQL query is then executed and then redirects the user to the sign-in page. And here is what the database table looks like for the users. As you can see, a user's ID, first name, last name, email, username, and their password are stored in the table. After the first user right here, which was just for testing, you can see that each password is then hashed rather than the actual password like this one. This section of code is used to log the user in. The SQL query is first prepared to collect the password and username for a user from the user2 table. The SQL query is then checked to see if it was prepared successfully. If so, the query will execute and the result containing the username and password is stored. The user is then checked to see if their email exists in the database, and their password is checked to see if the plain text will match the hash text. If all entered information is correct, the user will be redirected to the landing page with the parameter sign-in success and username, which will be used to display the sign-in success pop-up and display the username on different parts of the landing page. This code is used to log the user out. First, the session is started, then unset, which removes all session variables that were set during a user session. The session is then destroyed, and the user is redirected to the landing page and includes the parameter logout success, which alerts the logout pop-up to display. In this section of code right here, the code retrieves the ID, the tag, the address, the description, and the image path fields from the properties table in the database. The rows returned by the query are then held in the result variable. And in this image, the property cards are dynamically generated. Each row from the result set is then iterated through, and each field is assigned to their respective PHP variable, as you can see in this one. If no rows are returned by the query, which would result in an error, then the message will display saying no properties found. And this is what our properties table looks like. And it stores the ID of each house, the tag, which is just what type of property it is, Then we have the address, a description of the property, and then the image path. And this section of code is just a JavaScript function which allows the user to search for certain properties. The search is performed based on the tag, the H2, which is the home address, and then the P tag, which is just the details tag. And the details, as you saw in the video, could be the number of garages, the number of bedrooms, or anything like that.
Favorites page, it allows users to keep track of what properties they like and wish to come back to. In the image that is shown, you can see that both of those houses have been favorited and are the reason why it's currently on the favorite properties page. The favorites page code, we use a txt file that saves the user's properties based off the local server that the user is using. Every time a property gets clicked on, the property gets added onto the txt file and removed for when it's unliked. And you can see more of that in the demo.
Okay, so this is Alfred. I'm going to give you a quick presentation on the property details page and what happens when you click on the property. So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to see the picture of the property here. You'll be able to see the address. You'll be able to see the home page, the search, and favorites. And you'll also be able to see, what it is, the bedrooms, baths, property tax, how big it is, whether it has a garden or not, how far it is from facilities or the main roads, and a quick little description about it. So I'm gonna give you an example real quick, show you. So here's the page. This is our first property. As you can see, it has all the details on it. House, beds, baths, garage, location, things of all that nature. And I could give you a second example right here, real quick. And this is our second property. It also has the house, beds, baths, everything that was basically in the first one. And so we have 8 of these properties, that the user could choose from. And just like the first two, they'll be able to view all the details about it. So now I'm gonna jump into the code and show, what happened. It's nothing too complex. So here's the code. You can see that in the header we have these three, which will lead to like each different thing. So the landing page, the properties list, the favorites page. Here's the HTML that listed all the details here. It's in the bulleted list. You got all the scripts, but there's nothing too complex. And so that'll be it from me. Thank you for watching.
Testing was a critical part of our project to ensure everything worked smoothly and reliably. One example was our login test case, which we checked the accuracy of email and password inputs. In another instance is after a user signs up, they are automatically taken to the login page. We also documented every test case in detail. This documentation helped us identify and fix bugs quickly, which was important for keeping the project on track and ensuring a great user experience. And we have the Scrum benefits. Scrum methodology played a huge role in helping us work together effectively and stay organized throughout the project. We made sure to discuss what parts of the project we would do, and we shared our progress to help each other understand where we were at in the project. And we broke down all our tasks into more manageable tasks, which helped us along with meeting to create a great project. And thank you. We really hope you enjoyed our presentation.